It feels good to be back. And that's because there's a couple of gold medals hanging around the country now after yesterday's incredible men's hockey game. We got Brandon Walker in studio today. We got Dave Portnoy joining us. We're going to break down the game with the Chiclet boys to kick off Wake Up Barstool this week. Cannot wait. We got college hoops with Fanta. We got stock up, stock down. It all starts now on FS1. Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool is back after a week off, and what a way to kick it off. USA wins gold. Incredible all-time sports moment yesterday. First time in nearly 5 decades. Dave, how about America getting it done, dude?
Yeah, it was a spectacular event. It's one of those events, you know, when you think about last time they won it, and I don't, it's not like the 80 Olympics when they beat the Russians. It was a coin flip game, even though it maybe didn't seem that way. But it's one of those games we'll be talking about when we're old. Like, this game will be talked about forever. So we got our Chiclets guys here, and in a fact that even Barstool fans don't always know. And I have to go back on ChatGPT, and I have to go back Google. Our guys here, Keith Yandel and Ryan, you guys have silver medals? This is that's like a fact, right? You don't?
I ain't got shit.
So you've been in the Olympics.
First words.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a buzz. You can't swear, by the way. Yeah. And then I thought you did. I thought you had one. Whatever. And then the funniest question I get asked when I'm explaining, they're like, "Oh, so Biz played for Team Canada?" I'm like, "No, he did.
He did for not Olympics, but he played like international representing Team Canada."
Biz, can you talk?
He's muted.
You're muted, busy boy.
These people.
This could be on purpose, though, to not have to address.
Well, I will say, I'll let you guys talk about, because you're the hockey guys in Team USA, the program. Biz is the worst Canadian ever to make fun of, because he's just like, "Good game, boys." Yeah, you got us. Like, he's the worst. So with that, I originally, what do you say to a guy who just is like, "Yeah, you beat us." So that stinks. There's a lot of Canadians out there not being as gracious as Biz right now. But I'll start with you, Whit. You got a silver medal. You played in the Olympics. What's your takeaway? I know you've been talking about it a lot.
Yeah, just so happy. Like the greatest sporting event that I can ever remember in my life watching, and all the Boston titles we got. But this one was it was 46 years. And we could never beat Canada in the big one. We'd beat them in the round robin. And when it came down to the gold medal, they would get us. And I was a part of 2010. And it makes me sick to think back. And Sidney Crosby scores the golden goal. Now, him not playing, big storyline. I wanted him playing. I wanted to beat them with their best, but I wasn't complaining. And then to finally do it, and to do it the way in 2010, Ryan Miller stood on his head, our goalie. You couldn't score on him, and finally Crosby beat him. But Hellebuck was the same thing. I'm like, they got to do it for this guy. This is the greatest goaltending performance of all time, and they did it. And for me, as a former member of USA Hockey and played on the national team, I just am so excited and proud of what this is going to do for hockey in the States, because I'm telling you, a lot of these guys grew up watching Patrick Kane, and the players before them, grew up watching Keith Tkachuk and all these legends. And I think in 20 years, the amount of hockey players that are going to come out of this to just make our program and USA Hockey even better and better is going to be just something that we'll never forget.
I don't agree with that part of it. I mean, I think everyone plays hockey already. It's a big sport.
Oh no, I think they're showing.
That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Why?
You don't think it's going to grow?
I think it's already a pretty big sport for who plays it. Like the white middle class kids. What? Who else? Tons of people play hockey. How much room is there to grow hockey in the United States?
I think that they just hit the first time.
I'm on your side, so I don't want to do a fight. I think hockey is the fourth. I just kids who weren't going to play hockey are now going to play hockey.
100%.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of signups and kids that are inspired by that moment, and also the fact that I don't know, man. Like you look at some of these other sports and how guys are shipping in, like the NBA, where look at that picture of Jack Hughes, man, bleeding, lost his tooth at the end, and I don't know. I just think it's an inspiring photo where a lot of young kids are going to come up, just like when Keith Kachuk and Bill Guerin were playing at the World Cup of Hockey, how they inspired the generation who just won it now. So it would be very short-sighted of me not to think that this is going to catapult hockey in the United States. And
Well, you want it to, Biz. You're a grow the game guy. Isn't that a good thing if it grows in the United States for Canada?
yeah, and also for me, like being Canadian, like we've had our moments too, man. So it's time that I step aside and let Yans and Witt and the rest of the Americans have theirs as well. And I mean, it's great to see the game grow. That's I mean, I'm Canadian through and through, and I'll support my country till I die. But I have spent a lot of my adulthood in the United States, and to see what they've done with the United States program, and I mean, Witt came through it, and obviously Yans to a certain degree have. It's really cool to what you guys have done in order to. I mean, we always use the quote, "Iron sharpens iron," and your best on best have definitely gotten a lot better, and you guys are just on par with Canada now.
And that
that's
picture,
a different take. That's a different take, Biz, because Nathan McKinnon after the game, basically it says, we were way better than them in so many words.
well,
and then
Dave, that was a little out of context. You're a context guy because
Okay.
I saw that as well. And I was like, is he serious? He missed a wide open net.
Yeah,
Now,
that's what I thought.
okay, the full quote was, it's been close for a while. They're an amazing, skilled group of players. I felt like it wasn't going to be. You guys could be the judge of who the better team was tonight, but they won and we lost. So,
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
They
I will
didn't
say he's
include
my
the
favorite
entire
clip of the
quote.
whole thing, getting the stuffed animal when they're giving out these stuffed animals at the end after you get your heart ripped out. He's
Yeah.
just looking at it. That's fair.
They didn't include it, but the picture that Biz mentioned, that's that's one of the best sports photos
that might
I've
be
ever
the
seen.
time photo of the year.
Yeah, and it even looks like it's like years ago. Like I don't know why. It just great picture, great moment, and the goaltending. I mean, Brandon, I know you're a hockey guy now.
Yep.
Dave, you're into the goalies. Like that was I couldn't believe it. I was like, this all right. At some point, he can't keep doing this.
Well, the thing with hockey, and you guys all play it, and we'll get Keith in there. He's driving with his daughter. She's like, are they going to let you talk? I'll ask this about hockey. You see a lot of people, and I'm an outsider to the hockey world, but you play this game, and Canada is just sticking it to the United States. I mean, I wasn't expecting that type of game. That looked like, you guys use the term tilted ice. We looked like a third world country for most of the game. It's just all in our own end. And the goalies make the saves. Now you see some people, whether it's the McKinnon quote out, be like, well, we dominated you. But that's hockey. Like for as long as I've watched hockey, it's the only sport where and maybe you can say it's the beautiful part, the frustrating part, but you just get dominated, but you got the one guy, and that was it. That's what happened tonight. So
it's called getting goalied.
And it happens, though, a decent amount, right?
Yeah.
But that's the team that Bill Guerin built for this. Like he got a little heat for not taking, the Cole Caulfields and the Robinsons of the world, guys who can score. But he built this team to play Canada, to be a 2-1 game. Their defense was way better than Canada. Their goaltending is way better. 1 through 3 is way better than Canada. So they built from the back end out, and that's how you win championships. And they did it. And Bill Guerin, a lot of credit to him of just sticking with his guns and not listening to the outside noise and they built this team just to play Canada, and the way that they built it, that's how they beat Canada. So a lot of props to him and their staff to the way that they did it.
I think another thing of what makes this story so inspiring is how much the players on Team USA bought into like the Olympic side of it, where, there were some comments that came out before the tournament of Canada staying in like a nice hotel where Bill Guerin and the Americans elected to stay in the village.
Yeah.
And I guess the Kachuk brothers had their door and their dorm open the entire time, and just really embodied, interacting with the other athletes and taking in the full experience. And you really could see how patriotic the Americans were, after the celebration. And I think the other big thing that sticks out, and Yans and Witt could speak a lot to this, they really rallied around losing their one of their good friends and fellow teammates, Johnny Gaudreau. And during the stream, I mean, I remember Jans brought in the t-shirt, and it felt like he brought the aura in. And they rallied around that very difficult, tragic loss. They'd flown their family in, and it really amplified the emotions on the ice and what everybody was seeing and feeling. And that's what part of the big reason why this is so captivating for the Americans.
Yeah, and I saw an interview with Hughes's parents, and I assume it's the same way on the Canadian team, but maybe it's not. And they were talking like these kids have played hockey together, like growing up every stage. So they're like, we're family. Like we've known, the Kachucks for our whole lives. Like we're traveling with them to tournaments. We're all kind of the same age. It's a lot more fun when we're wearing the same uniform. And it's that family. But I assume that's similar to Canada, no? Although they seem to be a little bit more like Sidney Crosby's old, Macklin Celebrini is like 19. They seem to have a much bigger range of players.
So, I'll quickly answer this. We don't have a development program, which you guys ended up doing. Whit can speak to it. So they do know each other, just not to the degree of what some of these guys on Team USA have played growing up. Whit, you can take it from there.
Yeah, so in 1998, 1999, Jeff Jackson and USA Hockey put together the national team development program, and it was all based on starting to make elite level talent. Like we were producing NHLers, but we needed stars. We needed superstars. And this idea came together to get every kid, the best 20 kids that age group, starting at 16, 17 to Ann Arbor. And you'd live together.
Yeah, they go to Pioneer High School. I taught them.
That's where I went.
Student teacher, and I have these hockey kids in here. They're not from here. I taught these kids when I was in college in Ann Arbor. I couldn't pass Spanish at Michigan. They're like, all right, well, you got to go be a teacher. I student taught Pioneer High, and there was all these USA hockey kids there.
So who would have thought Dave would make this about himself, guys? Get him a medal. Get him a medal, guys.
Whit, to be honest, you missed the beginning. You missed the beginning with Jans. And I actually think it's come about I'm sure you saw, like Jack Hughes mentioned Barstool in his post-game interview. And then, I put that out. He responds instantly, like American flags go. I look, they're all following me. These kids grew up on Barstool. They're like all Northeast, Michigan. Barstool's cooking when they're growing up. And I've installed this culture of winning.
You might have installed fear, because I think what he said was he didn't want to be on Barstool being told he's the worst person in the country. So,
I think he was talking about Frank, not you, Dave.
No, listen, who knows? I'm looking. I asked Jans, I may go to 11. I may have to the old man may have to roll down the street to 11 today. But that is a big part.
Big part. And all of a sudden, so you're getting the 20 best players from the country, and you're starting to play under 17s together, under 18s together. Then a lot of those kids are on the World Junior team, which is the U20 World Championship. And this group, it's like a golden era, and there are actually some more kids coming where they were winning everything, and we never won anything. When I was there, I was an 83 birth year. We didn't have a great team, and they've gotten better and better and better, and now they've won together at young ages, and they've learned what it takes to win, and they've become so close, and they live in Ann Arbor. They'd have their parents, one group of parents, or one parent would come out 2 weeks later, the other kid's parent would come out, and they were able to just kind of figure out how to become pros at a young age. And the national team was the main thing behind it. And the best part for me is with the Gaudreau situation, Johnny came before a lot of these guys. He would have been a little bit older, and he was unbelievable. He came into the NHL as a smaller guy, and some of these guys are undersized. Jack Hughes isn't huge. I'm sure he looked up to Johnny Gaudreau, and the moment was just so big and special for every American. But then when they bring out the jersey, and Dylan Larkin and Zach Werenski go get his son and daughter, that's when it's even if you're not watching hockey, it was tough to not get emotional, and to see his parents. And Biz said it, they just had this aura around this team, and they've been thinking about these games for so long. And losing last year in the Four Nations, it almost was like, boys, like we're there. We beat them once. We lost in overtime. Like we can beat these guys. And it took a goaltending performance for the ages, but they did it. And the way that USA Hockey has grown through the national program is something that this is exactly what Jeff Jackson had in mind when this began.
And
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and Jens can kind of touch a little bit more on who Johnny was too, and what he brought to the rink, and not only from his skill standpoint, but just as a guy, because he knows him the best of all of us. And I think we need to shed light on how special of a human he was.
Yeah, I think he's the exact guy that they tried to embody that team to be. Like you mentioned earlier, Biz, of staying in the Olympic Village, having your door open. Because Johnny was one of those guys that if you're hanging out, you're not going to bed until he wants to go to bed. He wants to keep the guys together as long as you can. You're like, Johnny, we can just hang tomorrow, man. We're on a bachelor party. He's like, no, we're not sleeping. So just one of those guys that wanted to always have the guy be around the guys, have the guys together, including everybody. And I really think that team, and from what it sounds like, the Tkachuk brothers kind of embodied that way of Johnny's, being, and it worked out for them. And you can tell that this group really did love each other, and they're going to go down in history. And Biz, do you think like the Tkachuk brothers, for what they've done the last couple of years, like when you look back in 20, 30 years, these guys are going to mean more to hockey than a lot of people give them credit for?
Oh yeah, no, I feel like they're like WWE rock stars. Like not only do they bring it inside the ring, but what they're able to do as far as like drawing attention to USA hockey and hockey in general, and really like kind of like that old school type player, which I felt for a while like the NHL was going a little bit soft. Like we're in that Bash brother era, and I mean, who better to do it than Brady and Matthew, right? And also to go back to Johnny, like it's funny because he was this like undersized guy, yet he was so quick and so skilled. And like some of the stuff off the ice, you would think that he would, for being as good as he was, he would be dialed into his diet. But Jens can talk about like he ate like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, he was ham and cheese, and then pasta with butter, not even sauce. Just a real simple guy, and to be able to play in the NHL at his size, and it was truly amazing.
Tell the story. You got to tell the story about how he got the nickname Johnny Ham and Cheese.
Oh, so we were getting sushi at Ichiro in Milton, and Johnny was like, "Oh, I've never had sushi," and we were like, "Just try it." He said, "No chance. I don't do fish." So he walked across the street, grabbed a ham and cheese sandwich from Milton House of Pizza, and then walked back over and ate the ham and cheese sandwich in the sushi place.
If you love that,
great story. The one of the big things that comes out, and again, Biz is the defender of Canadian hockey right now, but I've seen a lot of quotes: 3-on-3 overtime, 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Not real hockey. I, as a fan, absolutely love it. I mean, you're going to get 5 to 7 minutes. It's going to be great opportunity after great opportunity. For me, that ending play, that wasn't a fluke or luck. Hughes makes an unbelievable play with the stick to pass it up the boards.
A risky play, too, because they had a 2-on-0 if he missed it.
So I, as a fan, absolutely love it. You're going to get conclusion kind of quick. It's probably going to be a pretty goal. What do you guys think of that ending? We'll go around the horn. Jens, what do you think of the 3-on-3?
Go ahead, Jens.
I said it before the game even started. If your team wins, you're going to love it. If your team loses, you're going to hate it. So I absolutely love it. I hope they do it till the USA loses. I know the Canadians are complaining and not happy about it, but I absolutely loved it.
Me too. Biz?
So I'll just say this, like for all the online Canadians that aren't giving USA their props, like
ugly.
I don't side with those people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 3-on-3 is how it was coming in. And do any of us want to see it end like that? No, but hey, it's about the fans and it's to structure the tournament. So hey, and if anything, I think most of us would agree that Canada should have had the advantage on 3-on-3. And they had their best 3 players on the ice. Cale Makar, I think Nathan McKinnon and also McDavid were on the ice. And one, they alluded to it. I think it was Witt earlier about how good, or maybe it was Jans, about how good the back end was and how deep they were. Well, you had Quinn Hughes who was able to make all these electric plays offensively. Well, Zach Werenski is a very underappreciated guy in our league. And if you watch even before that play where Jack Hughes has the 50-50 battle with Cale Makar, is Werenski kind of makes this move up the wall and one hands it to try to get it to him. So it was a sequence of events that ended up leading to it. And then Jack obviously makes that play to get it past Cale Makar, best, fastest defenseman on the planet. And then Werenski ends up continuing to go down the ice, and then he outmuscles McKinnon in order to slide that back over to Jack, and then catching them on a lazy back check. So it was just an amazing play, and I agree. I think it's like electrifying watching guys go 3-on-3, and you know that it's going to end quick. So no complaints here, and that's kind of the setup of the tournament. I would like to see them moving forward go back to 5-on-5. And Whit, would you agree with? I don't think any of us want to see it end in like.
Yeah, I love it, but I don't play hockey, so I'm watching as like a fan.
Well, it is electric, and it's kind of like panic inducing as a fan.
Yes.
You're just like, oh my God, it's basically 2-on-1 to 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And in 2010, it was 4-on-4 when we lost. Now, I didn't hear any Canadians complain then. 4-on-4 is different than 3-on-3, but man, Canada won an overtime game at 3-on-3 in this tournament, and I didn't hear any complaints out of the Canadians then. Well, it was 3-on-3, so it doesn't really, we don't really want to take credit for this one. It's like, boys, as Biz said, you had McDavid, Makar, and McKinnon, and you lost, okay? That was the tournament. Yes, I would rather 5-on-5. There is a reason that the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Stanley Cup finals, it's 5-on-5 until somebody scores. I love the fact that the Olympics said there was no shootout either way. They were going to play 3-on-3 as long as it took. It never takes that long. But for me to see, like, Canadian coaches and fans like, yeah, it's 3-on-3. Like, take your gimmick title. It's like, boys, this is the tournament here, guys.
You could have practiced it going in. The reason I like it, and again, this is, you guys are all players of the game. I watch the game, but when it's 5-on-5, I feel like 90% of the time it's off a skate. It's some fluke weird goal, where it tends to be more of a skill goal, which I'm in on the skill goal. Connor McDavid, like MVP of the tournament, which I thought was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I think they should have gave it to Hellebuck.
100%.
I bet you he doesn't even want it.
No, 100%. What's he going to do? All my Super Bowl gear that I have, you don't wear it out. Like, that's a bad memory now. It's a bad memory for McDavid. Like, what are you going to, here's my MVP of what I've lost.
He won the MVP of the playoffs, the Conn Smythe, when they lost to Florida, too.
So this guy's won nothing, right?
He won 4 nations.
Right, but he's never, at what point, he's universally agreed by hockey people, the best player on earth. But don't you... Okay, what, Biz?
Oh, no, I was going to just let them know I would answer it. I would, like, jump in there.
Yeah, at what point does this just start mounting on him?
Well,
I think already.
I think after this it will, because you go back to Game 7 in the first of the back-to-back against Florida. He didn't have any points. They put him in a vice. Game 6 as well on the closeout game last year, no points. Put him in the Anaconda chokehold. 4 Nations was obviously like a boost for him to like gain a little confidence in these best on best big moment situations. And then for him to listen, he played a great game. He was all over the place. He was helping set up grade A's. But at the end of the day, if you're revered as the best player in the world, and you have, those 3 games to look at where they're closeout games and you need your best player the most, to have no points in those and be -3 and not be a factor on the score sheet, it's just hard not to like, shed a little bit of light on it and a little bit of attention. So this is like one of those things where I believe in the horse though. Like he's going to leave that and it's going to crush him, but it's going to motivate him to continue to get up every day, work harder in order to get better, to eventually either host Lord Stanley and or win a gold medal. So I can't fault him in what he brings effort wise and his passion for the game, because he's the guy who's driving the needle to make everybody better. But when it comes down to, looking at one of the best ever, he's going to have to definitely add some stuff to his resume to be considered in that conversation.
And he has a direct parallel in Matthew Tkachuk, it's not just that you can't win, you're losing theoretically to the same guy over and over and over. And I know what I would do if I'm in Kentucky. Like, well, your guy's great, but we beat him every time. I don't know. Brandon wants to drop that quote. Go ahead.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride, eh, Biz?
It's a legendary quote, and Matthew Tkachuk is one of the best shit talkers in the league, right? And maybe even sometimes where he doesn't impact the score sheet, he does a good job of putting the mental torpedoes in his opponent's mind. So obviously very, very difficult. And maybe as he continues to progress and tries to grow, maybe one thing he could take away or learn from this is maybe a little bit of a lighter hearted approach, because I feel like the Tkachuks, like they're enjoying every minute of it and being in the moment. And I feel like that definitely rubs off on their teammates. Jans and Witt, would you kind of agree that they do a good job of alleviating a lot of pressure off their teammates from the overall, and it really helps from the team element?
Yeah, I mean, McDavid is a very serious guy, and I think you said before, I'll kind of let loose and let my guard down a little when I win, and it's like it just builds up and builds up. I mean, this is a guy who asked his mom to help him, write a letter to Sidney Crosby on how to deal with the pressure and how to deal with being this phenom prodigy when he was 5 years old. So it's been his entire life of being in the news and being this Canadian prodigy coming up. And to not win, it's eating at him. Like, that's all he cares about. He can win all the MVPs and all the scoring titles and all this stuff. It won't matter at the end for him. So, I have a part, especially as an Oiler fan. I feel for the guy. Now, not this game I didn't, but the Oilers losses I did. And the Tkachuk's approach of they just really enjoy it. Now, they're winning, right? But I think Matthew was like that even before he won.
Not an easy guy to lose to. He's not the guy.
Buddy, not an easy guy to lose to.
Yeah.
And the other part of this game that's so wild, and this is just sports in general, it's like the inches that can change lives. Like, Jack Hughes is sitting in the penalty box, and you mentioned he's thinking about Barstool in the penalty box and being an absolute loser. And the reason that they're losing to a power play goal against with a minute left. And boom, 5 minutes later, he scores the game winner, and his life's forever changed. I mean, honest to God, that goal, what does that make him? $20 million in endorsements?
Oh, more than that.
More.
Easy.
It's like the game of inches, and McDavid's been on both sides of it. But Biz said it. It was game 6 and 7, 2024, no points. Game 6, 2025, no points. And then Olympic gold medal game, no points.
In this sport is the worst because in that regard, because if you're Canada and that's football, you're up 40 points. You can't, the other team can't steal. McDavid can play an unbelievable game, a winning game, and lose, and no one really cares because, he gets the MVP. So, yeah, stunning. And then we haven't even mentioned, you brought up one thing, Witt. How do these guys go back? I've heard Tkachuk be like, there's real hatred between these two teams. And I think there is when you watch it, but then yet they're all teammates. They all know each other. What's that locker room like when they rejoin their NHL teams? Is it like busting balls, or is it you don't even talk about because
that's an interesting question. You're talking about Brad Marchand for Team Canada. I think that, there's probably some lighthearted chirps, but it's just one of those things, man. As much as Marchand and Tkachuk love each other and love playing with one another, and they battle for Stanley Cups together, when you put on your country's jersey, man, there's a switch that goes off, and all of a sudden
everyone gets it, Biz. In 2010, I went back to Anaheim with Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry, and they had just beaten us, and it was me and Bobby Ryan. So there was 4 guys between U.S., Canada, and the Ducks. And right away, your teammates again, you're trying to get in the playoffs. They gave it to us, though. What are you going to do? And I'm sure Matthew Tkachuk is going to give it to Brad Marchand. That's just what he does. But as Biz said, it's lighthearted. And hey, I think all these guys might choose a Stanley Cup over a gold medal. That's kind of like that.
We've asked that. That's a question I was going to ask you. I used to be Stanley Cup. I think I don't know.
This one felt like, how are you ever going to choose against this? But when you get back to an NHL locker room, there is one goal there, and it's like, I respect you spearing me in that game because I would have done the same to you. That's how much it means to wear your country's jersey.
When was the last time that this country felt like this sense of pride? So I kind of agree with you a little bit, Dave, with this gold medal being maybe a little bit more than a Stanley Cup. Like, I haven't seen our country be this united in a long, long time. And for a hockey game to do that, it's really is like truly amazing to me.
Yeah. The Olympics, and we'll get into it later in the show when you guys are gone. The Olympics, which you cannot take the politics out of the Olympics. People want to be like, let's separate sports and politics. That's what the Olympics is. Anybody
USA Hockey did, I think.
What's that?
USA Hockey kind of did.
No,
they were just,
you see
all the
talking to Trump after the game?
Yeah, no, okay. Talking to Trump and having Cash Patel in the locker room. But I mean that every interview, it's like, this is for our country.
Oh, totally. But that's one group. That hockey, they're pro, they're doing that. But then in other sports, you have Eileen Gu, who competed for China, and you have stuff like that is the Olympics. You have boycotts in the past. You have the tensions between Canada and the United States have never been higher. So that is all what 1980, Russia, Cold War. That's what makes the Olympics different than everything else is it is national based. So it definitely brought, I mean, honestly, the figure skater that brought the U.S. Emily Liu, that brought Alyssa Liu, that brought everybody together. The U.S. women's hockey team, that people were going nuts. That's what, and then it culminated, the way the hockey is set up, it's the last event of the whole thing. It's continuous, and you have this team that hasn't won in forever, a great rivalry. So yeah, it obviously does bring the country together. It's great. That's what makes every year I go into the Olympics, like I hate it. Like I don't like the sports. I think they're stupid. And then by the end, they got something that drags me back into it. But it was spectacular.
I will say though, I agree. Like I don't think the tension between Canada and the United States has ever been as big as it is now. It makes me as a Canadian a little bit uncomfortable because, like I said before, like America, and my mom was born in Chicago, and the States has given me plenty of opportunity. But in the same breath as Jans mentioned, like there is something very, very cool about this story and how patriotic and supportive and proud that these American players were of their country, and they put that on display as soon as that gold medal was put over their neck. So, it was nice to see the positivity in the politics come together, rather than somebody bashing their own country or trying to make some political stand. So,
my final takeaway.
You got to go yelling in my ear.
My final takeaway. Bud, thank you so much for teaching those guys Spanish, man. We would have never done it.
I know. Thank you, Dave.
Well done, Dave.
Listen.
Let's thank you in Spanish.
Gracias.
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 Bye.
All right, guys. Hey, Chiclet Boys, thank you so much. Biz, Whit, Jans, that was awesome, man. Probably the best breakdown you're going to get all morning long. We got a lot more to come. We got college basketball. We got way more Winter Olympics. We got Fanta stopping by the show. Maybe Rico, if the power comes back on. More Wake Up next.
It was too nice, though. We took hockey from Canada.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. What a segment, Brandon.
Yeah, we killed it.
I think we did great, guys. That's how TV is done. We learned a lot. In all seriousness, look, there's nobody better to talk to than have the Chiclet Boys chop it up. Go check out the immediate reaction pod from yesterday as well. It's fantastic. Very pleased to learn, Brandon, that Dave is responsible for the gold medal. That's huge. Thank you again, Dave, for everything.
Well, I'm not taking responsibility, but these guys, we had a lot to their probably growing up. They were Barstool fans. So.
I mean, that is legitimate. I had to double check. I did a double take when I saw Hughes's post game. I mean, that's immediately where his brain was going, and it's like the
culture of winning that I've installed. It is a culture of winning that I've installed, not only in Boston, but when we go on the national stage. And Matt Boldy, Millis kid, played at BC. That goal he scored, that got overshadowed by all the theatrics at the end of the game. That's one of the prettiest goals you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, it was incredible. He took it to two of Canada's best. The thing about the U.S. team is, and you're saying the Barstool stuff, and I think that's a little bit right, but the coach afterwards was saying, there's milk drinkers in this world and there's whiskey drinkers, and this team is full of whiskey drinkers. The U.S. team just has an edge and an attitude and a kind of we're going to punch you in the face kind of mood. And I felt like Canada was more businesslike in their approach, and they're all like professional and everything. And everything about when we won that game, the next 45 minutes of post game were some of my favorite moments in sports ever.
I mean, definitely.
Walker.
Yeah.
This is just me and you in a room right now talking, right? FS1. I don't know if they get it in Canada.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I don't know if they get it in Canada, so maybe they're not even watching this. But that analogy that you just used, the whiskey drinkers, the milk, and I know. But I mean, we got our faces punched in for like 60 minutes of that game.
But that's what
a whiskey drinker does, though, dude.
You mind?
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I'm not talking. My bad. I forgot.
Do you mind?
My bad. You're right.
That's the thing. That's what a whiskey drinker does. That's what a fighter does. What a fighter does is you can punch a fighter all day long and you can knock them around, but they like to fight. And when the U.S. got, the ice was tilted and they were giving up all this thing, they never gave up a goal. They never gave up the lead. They never trailed in that game. They were just fighting, and finally they threw the last punch. That's what being a tough team is it not?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you cut me in bleeding red, white, blue. I'm very happy. We had a great merch day. I'm all that stuff. I just think, Hellebuck.
Yeah.
He's standing on his head and you got goalied and that happens. But any other sport and any other analogy, you're knocked out and dead on the map. Like if that's basketball, you're down 30 at half. Football, you're down 7. Like, yes, they were tough. McKinnon probably, this picture right here.
We gave up 500 yards between the 20s, but they couldn't score in the red zone.
Yeah.
And that's
Hellebuck. Hellebuck, the fact he's not the MVP of the tournament is outrageous.
Well, there's certain things with the Olympics that are stupid, and the main one being they voted for that at the end of the first period, correct?
Yes, that's insane.
Oh, that's insane.
I do want to make another point. It wasn't Hellebuck was elite, unbelievable, world class, but it's an entire team effort. Like Yandel said, they built a great defense, and that was a key to beating Canada on a smaller ice rink, too. Charlie McAvoy saves a goal as well. There's complete buy-in from every defenseman. There were pucks in deep right around the crease, and they're getting chipped out and taken away, so Canada can't create any second, third chances down low in the mixer. It wasn't just Hellebuck. It was also the decor who did an elite job.
But, Dave, we're back in the room. Me and you again, Dave. It's me and you. You've mastered the internet. You enjoy the internet. You know how to react on the internet. Once we won the game, how enjoyable were the Canada excuses over the next 2 hours?
It was unbelievable. We had one of our best merch days we've ever had. People rallying around, but having fun with these Canadians are crying. And again, it is a euphemism, but they have nothing else.
Nothing.
You get curling, which is a tainted, cheating title, and this is their national sport, and you stole it not only in the men's, but you stole it in the women's, and the women's was almost reverse, because, the women, that would have been a choke job if the women didn't win. They were gigantic favorites in that game. They pull it out, so this is great, and now you have it the Four Nations is cute, but that's not the
Olympics,
an exhibition. So you have
Four
it for a long
Nations.
time.
Yeah, it's an exhibition. This is a gold medal.
It's our fourth best sport, and we now own it.
Also, I understand the concept of getting goalied. What I don't understand is making that into a negative. Like sports, especially on this stage, and that's what yesterday reminded me of. That's what this is about. Celebrating heroic individual performances. And that's what Hellebuck did. Like, what do you do when the stage is at its greatest, the pressure is its highest, your boys need you more than ever, and he came through time after time. But to Liam's point, it's a team game. Everybody's more involved than getting credit for as well. Liam? I don't think they gave up a single power play the entire tournament.
No, their PK was, I believe, both across men's and women's, their PK didn't give up a single goal.
Oh, I know.
5 on 3. For all the whining from Canada, you have a 5 on 3, you didn't score. You had Nathan McKinnon miss an open net, he didn't score. And it's a spectacular play in the 3 on 3. I'm sure you guys heard. I love the 3 on 3. I think it ends in skill plays rather than fluke plays. It was an unbelievable day. You got Cash Patel in the locker room, people getting mad about that. I have no problem with that. That's you always see politicians at the Olympics. It's a political sport. It was a great day. It was a great day to be American, great day to be an American hockey fan.
The skill goal point is a good one as far as OT goes, but going back to that first goal, Boldy, talk about skill. That is one of the greatest goals that you'll ever see. Liam, you were with the Chiclets boys yesterday. Now, you are notoriously not the biggest fan of physical touch.
You got
Correct.
dominated.
And they love touching me.
The hockey boys love, that's how hockey does. The boys love touching each other. We have video of the game-winning goal with the Chiclets boys. Liam's so excited he nearly went in for the hug here.
I don't
I
know.
mentioned Whitney. This is an all-time horrible reaction by Ryan Whitney. Ryan Whitney, for a
I know
hockey
my role.
guy, if we replay that, Whitney was mad. He goes from mad to glad. Whitney thought they missed the net.
Well,
Watch it.
that was because it was so bad by the cameraman. The cameraman got both Whit and I. We didn't know if the goal was scored right away because the cameraman kind of pans up towards the crowd instead of putting it right on Jack Hughes in the immediate celebration, which they also did for the women's game. The Olympics camerawomen are absolutely tripping.
Stock down.
Also, I do want to point this out regarding Jack Hughes. 3-on-3 completely unlocks his game. He didn't play near his best game at all. The entire 60 minutes of regulation, he was erratic. He was struggling to hold on to the puck and everything. 3-on-3 with much more open ice where skill prevails. That's where he was able to take advantage of it, and that's why he was one. Incredible shot by him too. He's kept that straight on the ice. 5-hole is sick.
Yeah, it was incredible all the way around. The Olympics in general, I've said it. I never go in. The end of these Olympics, from Alyssa Liu winning figure skating gold and her story, that captivated me. I was captivated by, on the other side, the Eileen Gu controversy. And this is the most decorated skier. Was she half pipe? She does all the tricks.
Yeah.
And she competes for China. That story captivated me. I do not like her.
Well, and
I
Dave,
don't
Alyssa was offered the same deal and said no.
I didn't know about the money. Yes. Well, her dad escaped from communist China, was at Tiananmen Square. And here's my problem. By the way, if you like Eileen Gu, I really don't have a problem with it if you don't care about the country aspect of it. But throughout the Olympics, that is, and I said it briefly with those guys, the Olympics are political. You cannot separate the flag and the politics of the country. And by the way, if you are not happy with what's going on in the United States, you have the right to say it. That's happened throughout time, right? I mean, I remember you see those iconic photos. I forget who won there, holding up their fists with the black gloves on. That is the Olympics. That you cannot separate the two things. You're allowed to have opinions. Eileen Gu chose a rival communist country that we could be in conflict with at some point soon. And then you cannot cry, why are people not rooting for me? You're not an American athlete. I don't even understand. Well, maybe you guys can enlighten me, although I doubt it, because they're not the most intelligent bunch I've ever sat around with. But China doesn't allow dual citizenship. So how is she a citizen of, how does that work? Does anyone know?
Well, A, we don't know, and B, that intelligence dig was not really warranted at all. We didn't do anything to anybody. You don't know either.
Well, I didn't think you'd know.
Well, but you don't know.
But
you, right.
What?
So
Right.
I don't know. I assume you don't know. I'm like, well, they're not going to be smarter than me. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that means you're just as not intelligent as we are.
Meek, do you
I don't know. I
have
mean,
no idea.
I just didn't think you'd be smarter than me and have the answer to that Eileen Gu question. But I was.
Well, you're correct. I don't have the
I
answer.
found her arrogant, and I found her. And by the way, I think it's fine. I think you are allowed to root against somebody who chooses China over your home country when they have the option of both. That's what the Olympics are. Alyssa Liu, people have been because everyone was rooting for her, and you had people online be like, she's woke. Or who cares? She had the flag. I didn't care. I root for people who are embracing America and seemingly happy that they won a medal for this country. That's what you root for.
USA.
Yeah, Winter Olympics in the books, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. Coming up next, a great weekend of college basketball took place. We had 1v3, 2v4, and plenty more, all to get to here on Wake Up Barstool. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. We can spend all morning talking Winter Olympics. We'll talk basketball coming up with Fanta and company, and hopefully Rico.
Are we up against the clock? Are we trying to get power to the Bosco house?
Well, I see Bosco in the waiting area.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Borderline a little bit like he's in a bunker in Guadalajara right now, trying to avoid the cartels.
One thing about the team that the boys touched on, the men's team that I thought was pretty cool, was the overall vibe of the team. And I love that story. And it kind of writes itself as a movie where Canada immediately checks out of the village. You know, they go and they stay in their fancy hotel because they're the Ivan Drago in this situation, right? They need all the nice amenities, and America's staying in the village. They're all young 20-year-olds. It's the boys hanging out, and you could feel that energy, I thought, this tournament. But there's a lot to get to. What stood out to you, Brandon, the Winter Olympics? Claybo?
Well, I mean, whatever happened over the first 2 weeks pales in comparison to what happened yesterday in both hockey gold medal games. I feel like that for Americans is the giant takeaway. There were great individual moments. There were great things. I wanted to ask one question. If the Tkachuks were Canadian, how would we feel about them?
Oh, you'd hate him, right?
We don't hate them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're Americans that hate
This is a first for me. I know Dave's a Patriots fan, so he's had a lot of guys that are winners and nobody else likes. This is a first for me to have the guys that everybody hates on my team.
Yeah, and the bridesmaid, all that. And sometimes on the show, whether you wade in, and again, I've said a couple times, there's a video going very viral. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the President Trump calling the hockey team after they win. And he's basically congratulating him. He's really going in Hellebuck. He's like, unbelievable. You guys, he invites them to the State of the Union, which I believe they are coming to. And he's like, also, boys, just to let you know, I'm going to have to invite the women as well, or else I get impeached if I didn't. And they all laugh. And I've been doing Barstool now for 20 years. There is no softer group of people than hockey Twitter. People are mad. They're going nuts. How could the hockey team laugh? Why are they talking to the president? That stuff, this should be a barometer of whether you're a psychopath. If the president calls after you win the gold medal, I don't care. If you don't want to talk him, fine, you don't have to. But to get mad when you talk to the president of the United States and he's just congratulating him, chumming around, both teams are going to the State of the Union. If this speech made you mad, you need to take a Valium and maybe just take 1,000 steps back, because there's nothing to be mad about when the president congratulates a gold medal winning team. So it's wild to see the reaction to this video, which to me is just patriotism and people being happy to win a gold medal. What do you expect? But hockey Twitter, and hockey Twitter specifically, the softest group of people on the planet. So I had to get that out. And even the Cash Patel, that's going viral. People are mad he's there. I feel like at all Olympics, you see presidents, secretary of state, so with the director of FBI. Let me tell you something. If I'm the director of the FBI and they invite me into the locker room, I will be there in the locker room. But you always see politicians. Why are people suddenly mad he's there? There's politicians across the world at these games.
Yeah, co-sign 100% all the way across the board. If a U.S. team, especially after 46 years, wins a gold medal and has this big of a cultural moment, the president is going to call that team 100% of the time. That is a great, great moment for those guys, a great moment for the president, it's a great moment for everybody, because the USA won for the first time in 46 years.
And they're talking. And they're talking, and they're like, he's like, just to let you know, it won't be a boys' trip. We're going to invite the women too. And people are like, that's so sexist. How's Jack Hughes laughing? Jack Hughes' mother works with the Olympic women. No kidding, he does. He realizes it's not a joke. The women were incredible. People are going nuts for the women too. It is political, but if you can't enjoy the moment, you're a problem. Your brain is demented. You have a derangement syndrome.
All right, coming up next, we got March Madness with John Fanta breaking down a massive weekend in college hoops. More Wake Up Barstool. FS1. Rico live from the bunker. Jump scare. We'll see you next.
Jump scare.
Good God.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. March Madness is nearly here, guys. It was a massive weekend in college basketball. We got to see the top 4 teams in the country do battle. And who better have on than our college hoops guy, Rico Bosco, live from the Bomb Genesis and by hook or by crook, Dave finally got him here. Our guy, John Fanta, one of the biggest and best voices and personalities in all of college hoops. John, Rico, what's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
What's Great to be with you guys. Excellent.
I'm
loving Rico. I'm loving.
I should have said John.
Good morning, guys. It's terrific to be with you, Dave. Awesome to see you. For every American today, a day of celebration. What a gold medal. And guess what? As we flip the page, March is next. It's coming. It's about to be here. I can't wait. I know you can't wait, Rico Bosco. I'm going to ask Rico Bosco, what are you most excited for?
It's every night has delivered, as the people are catching up now, being like, oh, we're finally here. It's getting interesting. It's been interesting since November. It's delivered every night. Another one tonight. Houston, Kansas. Yes. In fog. Unbelievable. Like every night. If you're late to the party, that's great. We still welcome you, but it's been going for months, and I'm super excited for the way it's going to go.
I gotta say, just looking at it, as I look at the screen to my left and my right, the guy who got away, who I couldn't hire, a well-lit in a nice room, and then the guy I'm stuck with, who literally looks like he's dealing with the cartels here in Guadalajara. He's in the basement of his vacation, avoiding. I mean, I don't know what's going on, Bosco, but we got you both on. This is when the novice starts paying attention. I'll start right off the bat because my guys, Michigan, going into this Duke game, they were, at least according to DraftKings, the far and away favorite. I haven't looked at them since they lost. They're minus 300. I mean, there was nobody near them. They put up what I would say is a dud against Duke. They've been scoring at will. They couldn't hit shots. They lose to Duke. Is this something? And now they're 380. So you even look at this, they're still a significant favorite. I bet the game, so I was mad they lost. But on the grand scheme of things, I actually think it'll probably be a great loss for them and a wake up and maybe a practice run. Johnny, what do you think of that?
Well, what I think is Elliot Cadeau, Nabari Burnett, and Trey McKinney shot a combined 2 for 17. And Michigan as a team shot 6 for 25 from 3. And they lost the game by 5. Now, what I also think is this. Cameron Boozer doesn't lose. All this guy has done in his career is win. No matter the tournament, no matter the event. It was more than a game. It was an event. We need more of it in college basketball in February, whether it's 2 conferences or whatever it is. Set up these marquee non-conference games either this weekend in February or the last one or whatever it might be. But I thought that Michigan's offense was as bad as it's been all year, Dave. And sometimes it's a make or miss game. And this was a really rough miss game for Michigan, probably their roughest of the year. I thought Duke ran terrific offense down the stretch in the game. They ran it for Cameron Boozer, who should be the National Player of the Year. Duke should be number 1 today. I know Arizona got past Houston and they were shorthanded, but the Duke Blue Devils have earned the right to be number 1. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that now Michigan, that you don't believe in them or that you don't think that they're going to get to Indianapolis, I will say it right now. I'll be stunned if the Michigan Wolverines are not in Indianapolis at the Final Four because I still trust this team too much. They had a bad shooting game. Give credit to Duke. Duke outfought them. Duke out-toughed them. And Boozer's the ultimate winner. And they did enough there to get that win. It's a terrific victory for John Shire. But I'm not letting my guard down on Michigan and their ability to win a national championship.
Why don't more teams schedule this? Because even when in the tournament, which makes me a little nervous, you sometimes see you go into an NBA arena or a different type arena and the shooting changes from what you see. So why don't more teams, again, I use the word dry run. And I think both coaches said it felt like a March game, like all the pregame workouts. Why don't more teams do that? Bosco, is this too elevated for you, or can you handle this?
Oh, it's not. I thank you for that. I've been saying it for months. I think in the realm of the conference is a bear. They're going on the road to all these different spots. Guys don't want to go in January and February to these games. I wish they would. It's better for us to watch. Like you said, it's a dry run. But, you look at Houston, or Michigan, they're going to be playing another bear of a conference game Tuesday, Wednesday on the road, or if that. They don't want to go and play some of these even neutral site games in the middle of their conference. It's the way it's been lined up. We've been saying it forever. And it's unfair because, listen, now Duke, we have a data point. Duke beat Michigan head-to-head. When it comes down to the number 1 overall seed, it's like Duke's got to be ahead of Michigan. In that sense, it gives us a better way to equate these teams. But no, they don't. It's up to the coaches. It's up to scheduling. They should just do it more. Play more, but they won't do it. So I don't know why they do it, but I wish they would.
But what I would say is this. If I'm 2 conference offices right now, and I'm not saying this is not that I know anything at all, but like if I watch that this past weekend and I'm the Big Ten and the SEC, or I'm the Big 12 and the ACC, how am I not saying, you know what, we're going to reposition our conference schedule. We're going to put in an added early December date when maybe not as many people are watching college basketball. We are, but not as many people are. And then we're going to build this out on this past weekend in February, or last one, Valentine's Day weekend. And we're going to do a huge Saturday marathon where the best of the best in our league get paired up. And maybe we'll schedule the games organically. Like it'll be true standings or true metrics. Like to me, we're in a time in sports where you've got to create the move the needle events. College basketball moves the needle this time of year. Why not level it up even more and give us an appetizer to the NCAA tournament? It would behoove 2 conference offices to figure out a way to do it.
And not only behoove, and never mind, I agree with you, moving the needle, because and those are 2 power programs, and they hit a home run because Michigan's obviously had a great year. Duke's always up there. But it's a look in the mirror situation. Like you get outside your conference, and before you go into the tournament, you're like, hey, maybe we're not Michigan. We're not as good as these news clippings that we're reading about ourselves. And it's a wake-up call. For me, I'm happy that game happened. I'm happy they lost, not because of the might, but I think that's going to help them make a deep run in March. So
100%. And you know what else it is, Dave? You see it in college football. When certain teams, all they do is play their conference for 2 months, styles make fights.
Totally.
You might be equipped to win in that league. That doesn't mean you're equipped to win it all. Now, do I think Michigan or Duke could win it all? 100%. I do. For me, Duke proved a lot. I mean, Rico, I thought this Duke team was really, really good. I always been curious about their backcourt in an elevated stage, but you know what? They did it defensively, and they ran great offense down the stretch. Whether you're a Duke fan or you don't like Duke, that's why Duke is very polarizing in college basketball. You can't argue to this point. You could argue that he collapsed the Final Four game. But John Shire's track record here, guys, he has won a number of these marquee big games. You got to give him a lot of credit for finding ways to win, or you could just choose to not like him and don't. But I give him a lot of credit.
Have we figured out who beat him up after the North Carolina game yet?
No.
Has that footage come out yet?
Nobody's figured that out yet. And John, to your point, Shire ran a great set there to notify that Michigan wasn't switching. They got that lob. Duke tweeted that. That was an awesome one. But to your point also, people want to say, oh, you can't play conference games so early in the schedule. That's a cop-out because college football plays conference games in week 1 and 2. So I'm not saying open the schedule with Kansas, Houston in college basketball, but let's play them in November and December and mix it up so we can see where teams.
Why not?
I wanted to do a little exercise with you guys. We're right at that time of the year where I feel like we're going to get close to teams being locked in on value. Like we've seen enough. So I wanted to put up some futures and see where you guys thought maybe there's some flyers, some value. We had it up briefly. Let's put this back up, and we'll start with you, Rico, and then we'll go to John and see what you guys think. Here's the latest. And if there's somebody not on this list where you're like, oh, maybe we take a look. You have Michigan, the favorite, plus 380, Arizona, plus 425, Duke, plus 450, Houston, plus 750. Now, I know Bosco. I know your Final Four. If I said, Bosco, give me your Final Four, you're going to go, I like Michigan, Arizona, Duke, and Houston. So don't do that to me here. Give me somebody outside of these top 4 that you think can make a run.
The one that I saw, and I've been saying, I said it the other day, the flyer I said, and you saw it with Acuff, I think Arkansas is a tough out. I think Calipari's getting them in form. They got an unbelievable guard, might be the best guard in the country. Arkansas is worth a flyer there.
Let me ask you this. I bet that game the other night, they have 7 guys. I've never seen a team. They had 2 guys on the floor. Granted, it was double overtime. They had 2 guys on the floor who had 0 minutes. Can you go that deep with 7 guys, or is somebody hurt?
They were missing guys.
Okay. All right. What about
But
you?
you can. You can. Guess what? I'm staying in the SEC.
The Gators.
Defending national champs.
It's the defending national champs, Brandon. You're exactly right. And it's Todd Golden looking for another golden moment. Florida can do it. They've got the length inside. That front court is as good as any front line in the country. The question has always been, can Boogie Flan be able to lead them from the perimeter? Their perimeter can come and go, but this team has played. They've been a top 10 team in the country, if not like top 6 or 8 over the last month. They're ranked 12th in the AP poll. That ranking does not indicate how good they've been as of late. Xavier Lee, they brought him in. There's been some ups and downs there. But guys, they overwhelm you on the glass, and they overwhelm you defensively. So I knock out that top 5. Like, I'm not picking anybody in that top 5, but I love that Florida team, and I think that they've got a real opportunity to make a run. I look at the team right under them, and I know they just lost at BYU, but when you look at Iowa State's track record, they do have an incredible big 3 with Taman Lipsey, Milan Momcilovic, and maybe the most underrated player in the sport, in Joshua Jefferson. And it does feel like in the world of college basketball, there is something to be said about March destiny. This group has been working to go on this run to a Final Four. And if it's going to happen in Ames, I think the best shot for it to happen is this year.
All right, I got a team. How about off the first page there? What about St. John's? They look pretty incredible.
There it is. They've won 13 in a row. It's their longest winning streak since 1984-85, since the days of Mullen and Barry and Winnington. We haven't seen this from St. John's basketball. And now they take on UConn. I will be in Hartford Wednesday night. Game is on NBCSN and Peacock. We can't wait to have it in Hartford. I'm telling you guys right now, this Johnny's team, they've got an All-American in Zuby Ejiofor. Now, their perimeter's gotten better as the year's gone on. Dylan Darling has averaged in double figures on this winning streak. He's got the church bells, guys. He lives for the moment. He comes up big in the moment. And Bryce Hopkins is playing the best basketball of his season. If Joe Sansanin, if Oziah Sellers, and if Ian Jackson can supply enough from the perimeter, St. John's can make it to Indianapolis. They're a real dark horse. Rick Pitino has done it again, Rico.
Yeah, John, I know you're a shill for the Big East, but let's call a spade here. Grade the league, because it's down.
Yeah, the league would get a D this year. It has not been a good enough league. And would a shill answer that way, Rico? Have to tell it like it is. So that was that was honesty right there. I know you're working on search firms in Manhattan, Kansas, and your power's out. But the fact is, I'm going to tell you how it is. The conference has not been good enough. And I would say this, Marquette and Creighton have had very uncharacteristic seasons by their standard. Dave, I know you respect the Creighton Blue Jays and the track record that they have. Sometimes you can have a down year. Providence has obviously been soul searching for a variety of reasons. But the fact is, the conference is looking at likely only 3 bids, and that's not good enough. It certainly is not. But St. John's, they scheduled right early. They're another example of just schedule, because they lost some of those games early. And look where they are right now. They didn't end up getting any harm done to them. So I don't disagree with you that the conference is down, and we're going to get a truer barometer. They're a team that could have used a February non-conference game.
100%.
But Rico,
they're definitely going to be a tough out, but you say product of the schedule. I also think they've racked up a bunch of wins here against some really bad teams.
No, what I look at is, Brandon, is that he just started the sentence with they're definitely going to be a tough out. Great analysis.
And Bosco, just if they make a run, you will be bussing to. That's your bet, right? If St. John's is a Final Four team, you will bus to the Final Four. We'll leave you with this, and this is an important one. I got you both. Johnny Fanta, was Bosco stealing his wife's Reese's on that stream?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I really do not think that was him. You know, maybe he's stolen a Crunch bar or two. I'm not sure if the power's out because of the bomb cyclone or because of other reasons that would indicate a stolen Reese's or two. But I really believe that he did not steal the Reese's on the Spaces. I think everything's okay. He's a good father. He's a good husband. He's a good American. He's Rico Bosco.
Wow, what a
well,
ringing
real quick,
endorsement.
To that note, I don't know what he has, but Meek Phil's been going crazy over here.
He's had his hand raised for 10 minutes.
Bosco actually gave out his CB college basketball contenders last week. He gave out 10 teams. Florida and St. John's were not one of the teams. I don't know if Rico wanted to clarify.
No, so all right, so Phil couldn't help himself. It's good he's getting.
Well, it's a good point. You said Florida can't win.
It's who will win the title, and I took a shot leaving Florida off the list.
Hey, wait a minute. Excuse me. Are you raising your voice at Phil?
Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like that, Mick.
Are you raising your voice at a grown man?
Yeah. That's how it works. So I took a shot. I think Florida's obviously good enough to win it. I think it's very hard to repeat. I worry about the guards shooting.
How many teams did he have on the list, Phil?
He had 10 teams. Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Houston, obviously those. Illinois.
Okay.
Iowa State, Purdue, UConn, Tech, and Arkansas. He left off Florida.
Well, Tech, I don't think Tech should be on there anymore with the JT top.
It was before that. See, that's the gotcha culture, Johnny, that you love. You love running with the Reese's. You love running the gotcha culture. It was before Toppin. So we'll take Toppin off. We'll put Florida back on.
There we go.
BT.
Gotcha or not, head back to the drawing board. I tried to be nice. See you in March.
Fun update.
Good segment.
Oh, did Rico's power come back on
I don't know.
in the middle of that segment?
It
I
did.
don't know, but the Kenny Rogers red light might have.
Stay safe, Bosco.
Rico Bosco, stay
Thank
safe.
you,
John
Johnny.
Fanta, thank you so much. You're the absolute best man. We'll be back with
Johnny
more.
Fant, the best man in the business of basketball.
Wake Up Barstool. This is FS1. What's happening? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Man, Fanta and Bosco electric together.
We got to get that every week.
We got to get that every week if we can, for sure. Glad, super pumped to have Johnny on.
Are we going to be able to get Bosco's power turned off every week?
Well, that just works perfect, too, because the dichotomy of Fanta, who I've always wanted, like, for people who don't know, Johnny Fanta is my white whale. Like, I've tried to hire Fanta for maybe a decade. He came on. He's done stuff with us at the Final Four. He's just so good, so knowledgeable, so enthusiastic, such a hard worker. He knows everything about college basketball. And then we got Bosco, who, you know, by hook or by crook, it's not his fault. There's a nor'easter there in the Northeast, but no power. He looks like he's in the Kentucky, the what is it? Kenny Rogers Seinfeld chicken episode with the red. The two of them now butt heads. I'm not quite sure what it stems over. There was the Reese's in the Johnny Fanta's Spaces talking college hoops where Bosco took a Reese's from his child and was getting screamed at. But the two of them are perfect together. So if we could make that a regular segment, we may be getting an Oscar or an Emmy or whatever they give morning TV shows.
Maybe not perfect together has been Darryn Peterson and deciding to actually play basketball.
Yeah.
It's been a weird season for Kansas. Some really high highs. Another massive one tonight. Houston traveling to Kansas, take on the Jayhawks. Brandon, what do you make of the Darryn Peterson saga?
It's one of the most fascinating sagas I've ever seen in college basketball. You have the guy who probably has the most talent of anybody in the country. If he plays, he's a number one pick, perhaps. But they beat Arizona without him. Then he comes back. They beat Oklahoma State on the road when he plays 18 minutes, takes himself out of the game after hitting a three. And the very next time out, they play on Saturday. Darryn Peterson plays 30 minutes, plays well. They get destroyed at home by a bad basketball team.
Yeah.
They get destroyed, and they look like they've never played with Darryn Peterson before. This is a fascinating. Bill Self is a remarkable coach, but he has no grip, no grasp of this situation, and Darryn Peterson is running that team, and he's not running it very well. I don't know where you go. I don't know if you're a GM, how you sit here and say, this is going to be my guy for the next 15 years, because he won't play for Kansas.
He's still the odds-on favorite to be the first overall pick.
I know.
Shocking to me.
And it could be. I mean, look, he's that talented. He's that incredible. And if he plays 75 games a year in the NBA, but if I'm watching a guy who won't play 50% of the games in college, how do I think?
How much do they pay him?
Probably a lot.
Millions.
Probably a lot.
Dickie V tweeted out that they got to cut ties right now. Kansas can't go into the tournament with DN.
I agree with that. I listen, basketball is a sport. I feel like if you're not gelling and you have a guy that you don't know who he's playing and whether there's issues, that'll torpedo a team. Well, almost all sports, maybe baseball, you can have somebody be a prima donna, it's such a selfish game, but basketball, you can't. And I think the proof is in the pudding. So I agree with Dickie V. By the way, I love when Dickie V just comes out of the woodwork with tweets still all the time. But I agree. How long are you going to let this guy, how long till you know that he is a problem that you can't set your watch to?
I mean,
also, we're sitting here we say they got a big game tonight. Is anybody doubting the fact that at 5:30 we get a notice that he's not going to play? That's in play every single time Kansas goes out.
Even more damning than that, or just not playing. He might start the game, but then he just won't finish. To be citing cramps this late in the season in the second half of these massive
What's
games.
What's going to happen in the conference tournaments when you got to play back-to-back games? That's.
Oh, he won't do back-to-backs.
Yeah, he'll just play the first game and then start the next game. It doesn't make sense.
So do you guys agree with Dickie V?
I do.
I'm 100%. I think you cut ties.
They beat Arizona without him. And I don't think they can win a national championship with him without him. I don't know if they can win one with him. But I still think if you're Bill Self and you want to preserve this program, preserve this team, you go without Darryn Peterson.
And I think it's a great team.
That's kind of a contradiction, though, that you just said there, because you're I think if I heard that, I don't think they can win a national championship without him, but you think maybe they could with him.
No, I actually made a mistake throwing that in there. I don't think they're going to win with or without him. Yeah. I don't think there's any. I think Kansas basketball is not winning a national championship this year. But knowing that, what's the upside of having Darryn Peterson?
But does he give you the best chance though? He's still the best player on the court when he plays. Basketball is a strong sport. He can take over the game.
I know. I look at this Self is really starting to get amped up and fed up with this, and this is the time to, in 2026, make a teaching moment, make a lesson out of this. Tell the kid, the kid has. The agent and his parents are way too overbearing in his situation as well. So he's got issues there, I believe. I think Self can make a teaching moment and kick him off. I agree.
And if you're a teammate, don't you have to hate him?
Yes,
you can't. Yeah, so I don't know that you can. Yes, you can win. You can win a national championship if you have one guy takes over the whole tournament. But the other guys around him have to have buy-in. And if you're sick of this guy and you think he's a prima donna and you don't think he cares about the team and he's only about himself, then that's a different can of worms. So everything that's got on. I think you got to cut ties. And maybe who knows how many times Bill Self has said, hey, this is your last chance. But you got to be it's done. The Mickey Mouse is done. You're either playing full games, playing hard, great teammate, or you're off the team. That's what I would do.
Question, does Self need a moment like Mick Cronin last week where he says, are you raising your voice at me? Does he need a moment where it all comes about on him? Because the other day, Cronin, they come out, they're down 23 points at home. They end up coming back and winning. Maybe that was a turning point in their season. Him saying, are you raising your voice at me, to a guy who absolutely 100% was not raising his voice at him.
We all heard it, Brandon. There were cameras. I'm going to say this, and this is not a new stance for me. I love Mick Cronin.
Really?
I absolutely cannot get enough of Mick Cronin. Do I think he's an ill fit at UCLA? Yes. It's the craziest fit of all time. He should be back in Cincinnati. He should be back maybe in a Big East, go to a Big East school, a grimy, ugly, rebound, gross, beat you on the boards type school. UCLA is too pretty for Mick Cronin. Even look at Mick Cronin's face. It doesn't belong in Hollywood. But I love Mick Cronin. I would hire Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin, I watched somebody put together a shining moment, one shining moment with all Mick Cronin quotes. I watched it 50 times. I love Mick Cronin. I love coaches who go on rants. I love the "are you raising your voice at me, dude" quote. I love everything about it. I love Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin is a Dave Portnoy fan of Mick Cronin for life. He has a fan for life.
I said this a week ago after that outburst. I said there's a 55% chance Cronin's working for us next year. And now I think the Blutt model's got to raise it to about 93%.
What do you think? I mean, you're the UCLA guy.
I like seeing it from the outside when he was at Cincy. I hated seeing it on the inside at UCLA. I hate seeing a guy who's so with such an emphasis on physicality and defense and everything, and then he's kicking out a player for doing that and showing that and having that. So they're giving up 90 points at home, and it's like, where is this defense? Where is this physicality? His identity isn't instilled into this team.
Well, I don't know that you can instill it into light blue LA,
That's
Hollywood,
not true.
Wizard of
sounds like Coach O.
You can't really
Sissy
instill
Blue.
in this era is the fact of the matter. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Cronin works here in 6 months.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it
Cronin
too.
and
I think it'd be a
Looks
home
like we're
run
all
hire.
fine with it.
Electric.
So we'll have college basketball coverage from Fanta, Cronin, and
real.
Bosco. Yeah. The big three.
Imagine Cronin asking Bosco, you raising your voice at me? He did raise his voice. He did raise his voice. Yeah.
All right, coming up next, stock up, stock down. Davey Day Trading Global going to let us know who should be buying and selling in the sports world. Don't go anywhere. We got more Wake Up on FS1. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool, guys. A little stock up, stock down. Davey Day Trading Global about to tell you who should be buying and selling this sports weekend. Dave, take it away.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about a lot of these people already, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll redo it. Jack Hughes, obviously, no-brainer, stock up. And it's a stock that you can probably buy over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and it's still going up because that'll be an iconic moment. The goal, the golden goal, the picture, all of it. I mean, we still remember Mike Eruzione and that 80s Olympic team, so this team will be remembered forever. So his stock can't be more. Hellebuck, the goaltender, same thing, just stood on his head, iconic save with the paddle. Matt Boldy, that goal he scored was just an unbelievably pretty goal. He taps it to himself. Massachusetts. You can't sleep on Massachusetts, Boston. I almost was writing a blog whether this counted as a championship because Matt Boldy from Millis, Mass, he scores the goal, played at BC, UMass Lowell, Hellebuck. So their handprints, our handprints all over it. Alyssa Liu, figure skating gold medal. I believe she was the least favored of the three American skaters to win gold. I know the blonde girl was the one that everyone was looking at, but she captivated the nation. Crazy story. She retired from figure skating for 2 years. She wasn't enjoying it. Comes back, skates with joy. Her father escaped China, was at the Tiananmen Square massacre, came here. China offered her money to skate under the Chinese flag. She turned it down. Then they thought they were getting spied on at the Beijing Olympics. So just a crazy made for, you want to talk about movies coming out of the Olympics. I'm sure there'll be a movie about this team that just won the gold, the men, and I'm sure there'll be an Alyssa Liu movie. And by the way, I will buy a ticket first night, like a spy, terrorist, American hero story. Yes, please. Mick Cronin. Sorry, we were off last week. I gotta give him stock up. Are you raising your voice at me? You deserve an award for the stupidest question of all time. Thank you, Mick Cronin. Peyton Pritchard. Woo. The show he put on yesterday versus the Lakers, he's got this move. When you do a little breaking ankles move and the guy falls down, he's near the three-point line. The guy fell down near the free throw line in the paint and then buries the three. Reggie Miller's just like, no, you didn't. Peyton, here's the play right here. This is nasty business right there. And then bang, absolutely nasty. This, brutal stuff.
Clark.
See.
Jared Vanderbilt was
Peyton
on,
Pritchard.
He was on Instagram. He called it a push off.
What's that?
Jared Vanderbilt, the guy that got crossed, he went on Instagram and said push off.
Yeah, well,
That's
you got to
salty.
do something. You got to try to do damage control. If I were him, I would have just deleted my social media. That would have been what I would have done. Stocks down. Emily Gu. I've talked about this.
Eileen
Gu. I get these names screwed up. Stock down my brain. Eileen Gu. This is the best tricks skier, which by the way, I don't really care about these sports. The half pipe and the Z pipe and the Y pipe and the trick pipe and pipes like that. They didn't have these things when I was growing up, so I'm not overly interested in them. Credit to her, she's the best pipe trick skier of all time. She skis for China. She grew up in San Francisco. She is obviously, one of her parents is Chinese. And then she's acting like, why are people getting mad at me or not rooting for me or being mean to me? Well, because you're competing for an arch rival of the United States, and you're very good. So that's why people aren't rooting for you. I don't care if you're going to do it. Don't act surprised when people are coming for your throat. Relatively speaking, this is sports. If this was someone on the Red Sox and like, I'm going to go to the Yankees, we'd root against you too. This is 100 times worse. So stock down on her, even though she did win the gold medal. She also had a very arrogant interview where somebody's like, she won 2 silver medals. And the question, which I thought was fair, do you look at it as winning 2 silvers or losing 2 golds? And she laughed at him. I don't like Eileen Gu. LeBron flopped again. The king of the flops had another one. Nathan McKinnon. And now we got this clarified a little. Maybe it was taken out of context a little, but he basically said they were the better team. You could say stock up because I have watched him receive the stuffed animal that they gave him, and he looks at it with a disgust in his face. It's very funny. I've watched this clip 1,000 times. Canadian whining. They're just whining. Their 3-on-3 is illegal. They were the better team, this and that. So Canada in general stock down. And anybody, yeah, I mean, this is, look at that. That is, and anybody who takes the glory of like the women's or the men's team winning gold medals and then tries to bash the United States when you live in the United States, Jameel Hill, stock down on you. That's my stock up, stock down.
All right, I got stock up. I got Mike Tirico. Like I said yesterday, when Jack Hughes hit that game-winning goal, it triggered the next hour and a half or 2 hours of just incredible TV.
Yep.
And Mike Tirico summed it all up. They sent it back to him in the studio, and he's like, listen, kids, if you saw this today, chase your dreams because your dreams in 20 years become this, and nothing brings the United States back together more than sports. It was an incredible way to sum it up. I don't know if it was on the teleprompter or if he did it off the cuff. If he did it off the cuff, it's one of the all-time great TV things.
Tirico's spectacular.
We've got stock up. The United States of America as a whole, we've taken hockey. We didn't even need it. We didn't need hockey.
No,
we got
forget
basketball,
about it.
we got football, we got baseball, we got all these things. So many things that we've got. Canada had one thing. They had hockey, and now we took it just for fun. And I think that's stock up for us. Stock up, Frank the Tank, officially 278.
Woo!
He has passed me in the negative direction. I now weigh more than Frank the Tank, so congratulations to him. Stock down. NBC's production decisions after both gold medal winning goals. Both of them. NBC, the camera goes right to the crowd. It goes up into the crowd, and then it goes to some reactions. And it does not follow the gold medal winning goal score. It does not follow the action. It does not show you the immediate joy. It was terrible, terrible, terrible production. Stock down, Kansas basketball. We already talked about them. Stock down, green-faced T-Bob. I don't know if you guys saw it.
What, dude?
He was just at a kid's birthday party, and this is great fathering, and it's great, all that, but I've never seen a human being look more like Shrek than you do right there.
It was...
It is just... It's questionable, green-faced T-Bob.
I had 3 8-year-old girls' birthday parties to go to.
And that's my stock up, stock down.
There was no way I was... But I don't... Anyway, okay, we got more stock up, stock down coming up the other side of the break. There's nothing wrong with that, Brandon. I was being the life
we're taking
of
a
the
break.
party. We're going to take a break. More stock up, stock down on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Wake Up Barstool. All right, welcome back. Wake Up Barstool. Let's close out our stock up, stock downs. I'll start with Ellen Hughes. Massive stock up on Ellen Hughes, okay? It's Jack and Quinn's mother. She was a U.S. hockey player herself. She was a consultant for this gold medal winning women's team, and obviously she gave birth to the heroes. And not 1, but 2, but 3 NHL sons, Ellen Hughes, and really families in general in the Olympics. Like the stories that come out of these families to get these athletes to these stages, it's some of the best parts of every single Olympics. Stock up. Brandon, when I can let go of my existential fears and look at technology nowadays, sometimes it's pretty badass, okay? The dancing Chinese robots. Did y'all see the Godzilla Japan light show that with all the drones and everything? The fact that I can talk to my phone and it can just respond to me. Like, you take a step back, all this stuff is pretty badass and pretty incredible to see while we're still alive.
So stock up just technology and as a whole?
That's the kind of add a stock down, T-Bob.
Yeah, what? Wait, what? Is it stock down for me?
No, he asked if he can add a stock down. Say yes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
T-Bob.
Okay. But, okay, maybe I'm not explaining myself well.
You can talk to your phone. That was your stock up.
Okay, when you're a little kid, Dave.
We just want a gold medal, dude.
Dave, when you're a little kid, did you see the dancing Chinese robots?
Oh, boy.
For the new year. Did you see these, Dave?
I'm sorry, Dave.
Did you see them?
Kid?
Did you see them this week? I'm saying if you would have told little kid Dave that you would live in an era where you'd have dancing robots doing kung fu, you'd have drones making a giant Godzilla blowing up cities, you could talk to your phone and it would respond to you as a person, you don't think you even thought that was cool when you were a kid? We take it for granted now. Even now, you think it's not crazy that we're talking to our phone.
So then technology can always be a stock up because every kid at every level of human society and civilization can be like, I can't believe when I'm like 50 years later, this has been invented.
Whatever. Watch the dancing kung fu robots and tell me it's not mind blowing.
You know what we were doing as kids? Playing Blades of Steel, and now we want a gold medal. How about that?
Stock up Klæbo from
down.
Norway.
I have a
6
stock
gold.
down. It's T-Bob putting. Imagine being on a nationally syndicated morning show, and you get a stock up. I can talk to my phone. Technology.
That's crazy. You got to take a step back. That's crazy.
How do you always manage to get yourself into a stock down situation?
I thought
crazy.
And what if I had said stock up robots?
That still sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? Stock down Canada, Dave. Not only for losing both gold medal matches, okay, they also lost a fight in men's hockey to the French and the Canadian curling team. Gets caught cheating, goes on and whines and complains about it and yells at everybody for catching them cheating. Absolutely ridiculous. They didn't deserve the gold. Tainted gold there for Canada. All Canada stock down. And stock down teddy bears. You know, I mean, you can't be making these people stand out there and accept teddy bears after what they went through. Meek Phil, what do you got?
I'm keeping it in my stock up. Rico Bosco, on Friday, he did an NBA parlay for three-pointers that was 12-1, and he hit it. I don't know if DraftKings signed an NBA guy on Friday. That's why you want to do that. But congrats to Rico for hitting a 12-1 parlay. I also want to give a stock up to Frank Fleming. The Fleming curse may not be a thing anymore. You got to remember, when Jack Hughes cut his finger at the Chicago Cubs with the whole Frank fiasco, since then, Jack Hughes has started dating Tate McRae and scored the most iconic goal in American history. You have to realize, like, maybe this Fleming curse isn't a thing anymore. Jack Hughes just beat it. He's the first one to beat the Fleming curse. So stock up to Frank. Stock down Team Canada Twitter. 2 of the most loser tweets happened recently.
Oh, yeah.
They tweeted out, silver shines just as bright. No, it does not. That's the most loser tweet ever. And then yesterday, in all caps, silver for Team Canada. That's just, you just tweet out like a press release.
And the shines just as bright came after the women's game,
yes,
right?
Like it's the most.
So it set the tone for the men's game.
The most loser tweets ever. And also stock down the groundhogs. Winter's just never gonna end. Like the nor'easter, like stock down groundhogs.
The groundhogs is the biggest scam in the game right now.
But also, this comes in the window of the groundhogs anyway. It's still February.
I don't care. Stock down.
He said the
groundhogs.
winter was going to continue. I think
Hey, Meek, did you see I got in a fight with the owner of your baseball team this weekend?
I did.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna be impartial.
Meeks in a blender. Liam, stock up technology?
No.
Robots?
No, not a chance.
Phone?
Stock up USA Hockey. You guys touched on this briefly at the top of the show. USA Hockey will continue to grow in the United States at a rapid pace. This moment helps them in a great, great way. There were 12 states represented on this year's gold medal winning team for the men's. Since January 5th, 2025 to February 22nd, 2026, U.S. men's and women's hockey have 4 golden goals to win golds at numerous events. That's World Juniors, World Championships, and twice at the Olympics. USA Hockey owns the sport right now. Pretty nuts. Stock up to the brothers as well. The Tkachuk brothers captured the hearts of many at 4 Nations. It was the Hughes brothers doing it at the Olympics. Quinn Hughes, overtime winner in the quarters. Jack Hughes, gold medal winning goal. stock up Tate McRae, for buying stock in Jack Hughes when it was down. And then we're going to go stock down all of Canada. Quite embarrassing you can't win gold when you have Macklin Celebrini, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid. Stock down for Four Nations as well. Four Nations is a literal exhibition. Nobody cares. Also, let me get one more stock up back to Quinn Hughes because he is a fascinating player to watch. Surgical, game-breaking talent.
Stock up Barstool Sports, as we have all of the top college football personalities in the entire country. Congrats on breaking the top 20, Brandon. Very impressive by you. I think Dave was 1. Liam, what were you? What'd you end up?
13. Not good.
There you go.
I can't take
Not
credit
good
for that.
enough.
I talk about everything, so I shouldn't be on that list, even though it was a dominating performance. I will say, and I know we got Stu ready to go here. I disagree with this assertion that this win will affect the numbers of people playing hockey in the United States. I feel like hockey is a pretty well-established sport, and the demo is the demo. And just because they won, I don't think we're gonna have some influx of kids playing hockey. I do not believe that.
All right, coming up next, we've got a live Blizzard check-in from our guy, Stu Feiner. Gonna let you know what it's like to be living through this bomb genesis next here on Wake Up. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. You know who my permanent stock up is? My guy, Stu Feiner, the source, the legend, one of one. Yesterday, watches US take gold with the Borellis, goes home, and look at him now, buried in snow. Stu, how's the bomb genesis going?
Everything's going great. Wake Up Barstool. Good morning, everyone. Had my 7th cup of Stella Blue. Hugged it out with Sandy. She made pancakes and bacon. I'm living large. I feel amazing, hopeful, positive, blessed. Let me give you a little insight to what's going on. It is a 35-mile-an-hour windstorm right now. The snow has not stopped. 34 inches of snow. I think it's the most snow I have seen since 1977, the blizzard of February of 77. Having a great time. Dave, this is like old school. This is like when you were in 2003. You'd wake up and there'd be snow on the ground October through February. You gotta love it, Dave.
Yeah, well, I'm out here in the Keys. We got a windy day, Stu. I maybe missed the snow for a second, but yeah, the blizzard of 77, that's like a northeastern legend. Like, I wasn't really live for it, but people talk about the blizzard of 77 forever. But this winter, every day I look, it's another foot of snow.
I mean, we have had snow on the ground, Dave, since November. I mean, November, December, January. We're in February, and it's not stopping. I've gone for over 6,000 cash to my snowplow guy. Not a good day to be in New York. 6 large, Dave. Not complaining because I got cash. You know, I'm rich like you, not actually like you, but 1/100th of you. But, it takes money to plow snow.
And I'm hearing, am I right did I hear that you're getting more snow? It's going to stop and then there's more snow coming later in the week, right?
Correct. Another 9 inches. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, I wish I was 20 years old. Used to love making a snowman, love making an igloo, love taking my family down the Bethpage golf course because that's where they used to allow us to take our sleighs, which were unbelievable. We had those like plastic sleighs, not the hard sleighs, and all over Bethpage golf course, down the black, down the blue, down the red, down the yellow.
So
do you have power, Stu?
What's the rest of the day?
We're going to eat breakfast, and then we're putting on our snow gear, and we're making a big snowman, and we're plowing a little bit of an area so Aria could pee-pee and poopy, and then we're having arguably the biggest snow fight in the history of life. It might make the Guinness Book of World Record. We're going to make 5,000 snowballs.
Sounds wonderful.
Look at that, guys. Dave, how's the Nantucket House doing?
The Nantucket House?
He's in the Keys.
No, I know.
Down.
No, guys, I got fed bad information. I got fed bad. You have a house in Nantucket.
House is that's in Massachusetts. I'm in the Florida Keys.
I know you're in the. Oh my God, man.
Next Monday.
I blame Jeremy and Matt. It's not my fault.
That was tough. Sorry, Dave.
Bye, Stu.
It's embarrassing.
No, that's crazy.
Love you, love you, love you.